What's going on, guys? It's your man Ed Hayes here, back for another video, and in this one I want to put y'all on to how to get started out here as a brand new wholesaler in 2024. If you've never done a deal before, or maybe you've taken a long time off and you're ready to dive back into it, this video is going to be for you. So in this one, I'm going to be showing y'all how I would personally get started if I was just getting started in wholesaling, knowing what I know now, and I had to redo everything. I'm going to show you exactly what I would do to get started wholesaling, whether I had a no budget, meaning I got $0, I'm just out here trying to thug it out, or I have like a medium budget somewhere between like 500 to $1,000, or if I just had like an open budget where I can comfortably spend, a couple or a few $1,000s per month to get out here and start getting deals. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right on into it. All right, guys, so we all know that there's a ton of different ways that you can get out here and get these wholesale deals, but you don't want to try everything. You don't want to be doing 7 different things trying to get deals, and you also don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket. So this video is really just going to give you my perspective, on my opinion, if I was to start over, what I would do to get started based off that budget and how much time you may have available to yourself. So let's just get right on into this. The first thing that I would do if I was on a $0 budget, I'm just out here trying to figure it out, I'm thugging it out, right? What I would do is I would start reaching out to the low-hanging fruit in the market. And what I mean by that is specifically I would be reaching out to 4 sale by owner leads and 4 rent by owner leads. These are some of the best leads out there for newbie wholesalers or someone that's just trying to get back into the game and you have no money. And the reason being is because those leads information, their contact info, meaning their phone number, is going to be right there on the websites where you find these leads. So it just makes the process of actually getting something under contract super low cost. It really just costs you time. So you can find 4 sale by owner leads on sites like Zillow and Realtor.com, and you can find 4 rent by owner leads on sites like 4rentbyowner.com or even like apartments.com. Very often those are going to be some of your highest likelihood people that you can actually convert. Don't get me wrong, very often 4 sale and 4 rent by owner leads can be very delusional on the price that they want. That's part of the reason why their property is still sitting online and it hasn't sold yet, because they're delusional on price, and that's perfectly fine. We're not going to get every single lead. Even if we were buying leads or doing texting and cold calling, we're still going to have to go through a significant amount of leads before we find the perfect opportunities for us. The next free method that I would recommend to get out here and get these deals is going to be doing some driving for dollars. Now, technically, it may not be totally free because you'll still have to put some gas in your car or whatever, but technically you can go out there and do some walking for dollars, some skateboarding for dollars, some rollerblading for dollars, or some biking for dollars, whatever it may be, right? You don't necessarily have to drive. So this still is a very free method. This is just you going around your community looking for vacant and distressed properties, and you can literally skip trace these people for absolutely free online and give them a call like, hey, I saw that your property looks like it needs some work, wanted to see if you'd be interested in trying to sell me that property. That's another one of the best low-hanging fruit, easier ways to get out here and get some deals. And now lastly, on the free deals method, I will go out there and try to do some JV deals with other wholesalers. That can work in 2 ways. So one, you can go acquire a deal and then work with someone else to actually get that deal sold. So you'll work with a dispo JV person, or you can go out there and establish relationships with buyers, find out what they're looking for, and then go and find wholesalers that have properties that match your buyer's criteria and ask them if they would be down to do a JV deal with you. And speaking of JV deals, I want to mention our company, JV Splits. If you're interested in doing some JV deals with us, we will help you dispo that deal. We typically can sell your deal for more money and faster than you typically would, than what you may even be asking for. You may want to get $10,000. We may be able to go out and get you $15,000, $20,000 on that wholesale deal. So guys, definitely check out jvsplits.com. Submit your deal today. Let's break some bread with each other. Now, on to the medium budget strategies. We're not wasting no time in this video, guys. We're just getting right on to it. I just want to give you this knowledge so you can go on and do other things that you've got to do, okay? So, on to the medium strategy budgets. That's going to be the first thing I would recommend would be starting up something, either texting or cold calling. So, you can do some texting or some cold calling, leveraging sites like REI Reply and Mojo Dialer. You're gonna get your leads from a site like PropStream. Highly recommend PropStream. Check out the links for all of the systems and services that I'm gonna mention in today's video down below in the description of this video. So with PropStream, they're gonna give you 10,000 leads for just 99 bucks a month. After that, you can go ahead and take those leads over to a site like Fiverr.com or anywhere where you can get your skip tracing done for a pretty cheap price. So one of my favorite companies for skip tracing is Skip Matrix, but if I'm on a medium-sized budget, Skip Matrix is charging 15 cents a lead, so that's gonna be kind of restrictive. I'm not gonna be able to afford that on a, let's say, a $500 to $1,000 budget. Now, so I will go over to a site like Fiverr where I can find people, just like freelancers that can do the skip tracing for me for as low as like 4 or 5 cents per lead. That's what you're going to be looking at if you're on that cheaper budget. So if you want to skip trace 10,000 leads at 5 cents a lead, we're going to be looking at about $500 for the skip tracing. On top of that, PropStream is going to cost you like another $100, and then you can get out here and start doing some texting, start doing some cold calling. The platform for cold calling, Mojo Dialer, if you add the call recording feature, which I do recommend, it's going to be about $175 a month. And if you go with REI Reply, which is the texting software, that's going to cost you about 99 bucks per month. So still within that range if you have up to $1,000 to spend. And at that point, it's basically about getting as busy as possible out here. You're going to personally be making those phone calls to sellers. You're going to be making those text messages. You're going to be replying back to people. And here's what I recommend. You want to also still leverage those free strategies that we talked about earlier. You could still be doing some driving for dollars in your meantime. You could still be doing some calling for sale and for rent by owner leads and trying to do JV deals as well when you're on that medium budget. You want to give yourself as many options as possible. You just don't want to end up overwhelmed trying to do too much trying to build your business. So I recommend having at least 2 marketing strategies and probably honestly no more than about 3, maybe 4, depending on how time consuming those strategies are. You don't necessarily want to be the jack of all trades in the wholesaling space. You want to become the master of 1 or 2 different marketing methods, if you will. Now, another option that you're going to have on the medium budget range is going to be to, instead of paying for a bunch of skip tracing, you could potentially skip trace those leads manually yourself using sites like True People Search and other sites like that, like True People Search, Fast People Search. We've got a video on some of the best skip tracing companies out there. I'll try to link it up above. But another stat that you could do, if you eliminated the skip tracing, you could also find sites that will just give you leads that are already skip traced. Right? So if you have leads that are already skip traced, then you could potentially put a virtual assistant in place to make that initial phone call for you with those 10,000 leads. So instead of you making a bunch of phone calls or sending out all of those text messages and responding back to people, you could potentially get a part-time virtual assistant for around $4 or $5 an hour, maybe have them work 20 hours a week. We're looking at 80 to 100 bucks a week, maybe 120 bucks a week, something like that. And so if you eliminated your skip tracing, you'll also be able to afford a virtual assistant. And now that brings us into the highest tier of what I would do if I was just getting started out here as a wholesaler and I was out here trying to get my very first deal. On the highest level, if I just had an open budget, let's say I've got $2,000 to $3,000 or even more to spend on a monthly basis to get leads coming in, the very first thing that I would do, I would sign up for sites like iSpeed2Lead as well as LeadZolo. Once again, I'm going to have all of these links down below in the description of this video. iSpeed2Lead and LeadZolo are pay per lead providers, right? So you don't have to make tens of thousands of phone calls to people hoping and wishing that someone's going to want to sell their property. It's also kind of like low-hanging fruit, such as like the for sale by owner leads, because these people are trying to sell their property by owner. There's not agents out here submitting their leads on iSpeed2Lead and LeadZolo. This is the actual seller, and you flip the script from cold calling and texting. When you're cold calling or texting, you're calling people asking them, hey, can I please buy your house? When you're buying leads, people are reaching out to you like, hey, will you please buy my house? it's a big difference on the psychology behind the seller and typically how they're going to be treating you when you're on phone calls or texting that seller. So when you sign up for iSpeed to Lead, if you use my link, guys, you're going to be able to get, if you sign up for their coupon club, I should say, then you're also going to get an additional $200 credit inside of your system, essentially giving you up to 7 free leads if you're on their coupon club, where you can get leads for as low as $29 a lead. Definitely check out the link down below. It's a great deal that I believe that I'm the only person in America with that deal, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong if you know someone else that has it, but it's a very exclusive offer that iSpeed to Lead hooked up for me. With LeadZolo, you can get leads either nationwide or in certain localities that you choose. For, I think it's like for nationwide, I think it's like $150 a lead, maybe as low as $100 a lead or something like that. And then if you chose your own markets, and let's say you just wanted to do San Francisco, San Diego, and New Jersey or something like that or whatever, it'll be about $175 per lead. Now you may be wondering, like, okay, well, if I'm buying leads, how much money am I going to have to spend before something actually converts? Well, on average, from what I've heard from not only my business, but from other companies out there as well, most commonly, you're going to be converting about 1 out of 7, 1 out of 8 if you're a pretty good closer. Worst case scenario, you're looking at 1 out of 12 to 15 leads that you purchase are going to convert into an actual closed deal. So if I'm on the coupon club and let's say I buy 10 coupon club leads and I lock one of those deals up, I've spent round about $300, but if I'm making $30,000 on that deal, who's complaining? Who's complaining about that? You can simply go out there and buy leads now. You don't have to rack your brain and call thousands of people. These people want to sell. They've already raised their hand saying, hey, I need to sell, and you're the buyer. So you can help these people out. So I love pay per lead. It works really, really good. But like I mentioned earlier, you always want to have at least 2 marketing strategies. So, all right, guys, like I was saying before my phone cut off, I would always recommend that you have at least 2 different marketing strategies going at any given time. So if I had an unlimited budget, not only would I be buying pay per lead leads, I would also be looking into maybe doing cold calling and or text messaging, but not doing it myself. I would absolutely put a virtual assistant in place to take those initial inbound phone calls, or the outbound phone calls, I should say, and those outbound text messages, be responding back to people and essentially having my virtual assistant lay up leads for me. So all I have to do is just call that person back and make them an offer. My VA has already had that initial conversation. So that's another great way, or another method that I would add in, but I just wouldn't do it myself. Cold calling and text messaging can get very demoralizing sometimes, especially cold calling. You're calling a ton of people, they're cursing you out, they're going in on you, and not to mention texting is just very passive. So I don't want to just be sitting back hoping and wishing that a lead is going to come in. I want to be creating those opportunities. I want to be as assertive and almost aggressive as possible in regards to my marketing. And also, as a bonus tip for anybody that's on the unlimited budget situation, I would also consider doing pay per click leads. So that would be, running YouTube ads and or Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, fill in the blank ads on social media platforms. This can be a great way to just run and own your own marketing campaigns. So you're not hoping and wishing that someone else is going to bring in a lead for you, or you don't have to go over to iSpeed to Lead or get leads from LeadZolo. This is your Google Ads campaign. Maybe an ad shows up right before this video and it's yours, and it's saying, hey, do you want to sell a house, etc., right? So that would be another method that I would leverage if I went on an unlimited budget and I was just getting started. And for pay per click, I would recommend you probably have a budget of around $3,000 a month just for pay per click leads. Now, to tie all of this stuff together, the platform that I recommend to actually sell your deals on is actually one of the channel sponsors, and that's going to be InvestorLift. That's one of my favorite platforms to actually dispose of these properties. Once you get them in, you got to get them sold. It's one thing to bring in leads and do marketing and get leads coming in, but you still need to make some money off of these leads, right? So I would recommend check out InvestorLift. InvestorLift is the #1 dispo platform in America. They give you access to millions of buyers nationwide that you can reach out to. They're already essentially vetted by other users of the platform, and you know that these are going to be some of the most hungry people in America looking for your off-market dispo deals. So definitely check out InvestorLift. Use the code Wholesale Coach VIP to take 10% off of your order when you head over to InvestorLift. All right, guys, so that's just about it, man. Tell me, what do y'all think about that video? Is it a W or an L? Drop me a comment down below and let me know. Was this video helpful? If so, drop me a comment. Let me know that it was, man. And also, like, tell me, what methods did I miss? Is there anything else that you would do that I didn't mention in this video that you think that you would do to get started out here wholesaling? If so, man, let's have a conversation about it in the comment box down below. Once again, man, all of the links that I mentioned in this video, you'll see it in the description of the video. Definitely click those links. Check them out. That's a great way to support the channel as well. I need y'all to do me a big favor, man. I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers really, really soon. So give me the HBO special, man. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content, man. I really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, we are out.